All right, guys, what is going on? I hope you guys are all doing well. Welcome back to another trade recap. So, in today's trading day, we took two trades. One was a break even, one was a win. I executed these on my live account, and then I also executed one trade on my top step. Yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. And also, if you're not in the free Discord, go ahead and join it. I'll leave it in the description below. So make sure you do that if you're not already in the free Discord. But now let's go ahead and get right into it. All right. So as you guys can see right here with the live account on my MyFunded Futures live account, we're at 30K in the balance and we made a little under 8K today. So we took two trades. This was a little bit in drawdown. So I took one trade that was a break even and then another trade that was a win. So without further ado, let's go and see what we were actually looking at for the day. All right. Basically, what we were looking at today was looking at the new hourly open, looking at the higher time frame. We see that price opened a new week opening gap right here on Sunday, right? But we end up retracing towards it a little bit, but then last night we ended up expanding away from it. So we saw an Asia and London session ended up expanding 350 points lower in one direction, all right? So what that tells me and what usually happens by journaling and seeing my past data that I've collected, whenever we expand heavy in Asia and London session or overnight, if we have an overnight expansion, the next day in New York AM session usually tends to be choppy or price action is not as probable. Go ahead, back test it, notice it yourself, or just go back to previous price action. Majority of the time, you will see market open in New York AM session after an overnight expansion isn't really as clean as normal market opens. So I was under the premise that today was just going to be choppy in general, but there was still room for us to go lower, right? I see that we're rejecting away from the new week opening gap. We have London lows over here. And then if we look on the overall higher time frame, we also have these lows right here. While maybe we may not take these lows in this session, this is still a very, very clear drawn liquidity that price is drawn to, right? We've kind of broke structure past this low as well, and it looks like we just want to go lower, right? So again, it doesn't mean that we go ahead and take out this low today, but we could still go lower towards this low, which would set us up for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to potentially go and take out this low. So that's what I was looking at. And on top of that, I was looking at this 4-hour candle open as well. We open very, very bullish. So we also have things on the other time frames like the hourly. We have gaps that we're currently in that could potentially support price to reject and go lower. So I was looking initially at this 4-hour candle opening higher to be somewhat of an open high, low close, right? So we open high over here and then we close lower, taking out London lows right here, right? Again, we don't need to take out this low. I'm just only targeting London low. So I was seeing that as a possibility. And then now going into market open, we'll break down the exact trades that I took. Playing out price action, what do we end up seeing? Right off of market open, we take out London high. And then on top of that, if we look at the hourly, we have this hourly gap right here. So this, if we wanted to reject and go lower, this would be the perfect area to do so, right? Where we end up pumping into here and then boom, rejecting, going lower to this London low right here, right? So that would have been the ideal scenario. Now, looking at the absolute lower time frame, we see something very, very nice to take. So off of this hourly right here, right, we manipulate market open, we take out London high, and I was viewing this as manipulation for us to go lower, distribute back lower once again to London low. So I see we tap into the 1 minute, we edge London high initially, then we tap into the 1 minute, and then boom, we get this nice little scalp to London high, which I usually would have taken, but I was just so convinced that the market would have continued to go lower, or there was a nice opportunity for the market to go lower to where I took this setup right here, which ended up getting break even. So tap into the hourly, the midpoint of the hourly, we start to displace lower. In this 1 minute gap right here, boom, we push back up, fail to break this high, and then we get displacement right here. So I take this trade right here, put my stop at the highs, and then I'm targeting this entire potential expansion, which is 200 points, right? I wanted to see price bleed out. Now, at this candle closure right here, we have a new 5 minute gap opening up, all right? So we open up this new 5 minute gap, and that is a potential point of rejection. But in this case, I obviously didn't want to see price reject from this 5-minute. So I had to be cautious of this, right? Because this higher time frame gap holds a lot of power. It holds more power over this 5-minute gap. So after these two candle closures, I was expecting price to just rip lower after this. And as soon as I saw price start to reject, I immediately moved my stop loss to break even, because realistically, if we want to go and take out London low, we shouldn't be stalling over here. We should just start to rip after we already put in a failure swing, and we also failed to break past this high right here, right, which is the failure swing. So we tapped into a crucial area, we get some displacement. Now we're seeing we want to see some continuation. So as soon as we didn't get that, I moved my stop loss to break even, and then boom, we ended up getting hit for a break even trade. Now, the second trade that I ended up taking, what do I end up seeing off of this 5-minute, right? We go up higher off of this 5-minute gap right here, and then we have these New York AM highs. So my thought process is, okay, after this initial move, we tapped off of the 5-minute gap, we get some displacement higher, and we fail to break this high once again. Now, looking at this, that means price is most likely to range. It is probably going to range if we fail to break this high twice. So looking at this, I'm only just expecting to target a range high or a range low. So I try to scalp in these market conditions. So looking at the 5-minute time frame, we see this candle right here, right? This wick that tapped into the 5-minute gap. We see this as a rejection wick, which also act as imbalances. So this is one of those unorthodox trades that I take when market conditions aren't really the best, but I can still get away with scalping. And this is one of those setups right here. So I limit order the midpoint of this rejection wick right here. I have a very, very tight stop, 10-point stop. I was just expecting some sort of very, very clean reaction out of this, and I wanted to target the New York AM high, which is the high of day. So put my limit order over here, clean 10-point stop. What do we end up doing? Boom, we tap into it, and then we get an instant rejection out of it, which is exactly what I wanted to see. And then I wait for that displacement candle, and then boom, I move my stop loss to break even. I end up closing a little bit early because, as you guys could see with the P&L, it wasn't exactly 86 points. I ended up entering with 5 contracts. So I closed around like 78 points. That would be, yeah. So I closed around 78 points for a nice 127 RR, right? So these type of trades that I take, again, really just come from market experience and understanding when price is most likely to range versus when price is most likely to continue. So I've seen these things play out time after time again, and I understand when it is the perfect time to scalp, right? To look for range-based trades, or when to hold past and look for more expansions, right? Past the range, right? Range highs and range lows. So with that being said, that is the trade recaps for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned something. And let me know how your guys' trading day went. If you guys won, if you guys got chopped up. I mean, the rest of the day was just completely terrible. We really didn't do much for the rest of the day. But yeah, you guys let me know. And I'll see you guys for another video. I'll see you guys in another video. Peace.